defensive back, Al Jordan, off deep enough and then coming back to the football. Watch what happens now. Little hitch. Now come back to the football. There it is. Jordan laying way off in zone coverage and then compounding it by...
Ham out of the gun. They set up the screen. This is Clark. Breaks one tackle, gets up to the 40 and the 41. Stu Laird with the hit, but missing the tackle, Kenton Leonard for the Stampeders.
Leonard was shot out of a cannon, but misses the tackle. Clark on the screen. Watch him from the right side. Bang. Head down. Misses the tackle. Good job by Clark getting some yardage.
Is all in his face. Doug Kraft. And the Stampeders will turn the ball over on downs. And there you have it. Jimmy Sparrows and the Baltimore Stallions and Don Matthews have 9 seconds standing in the way of their first Grey Cup and only their 2nd season in the Canadian Football League.
Jimmy Sparrows, number 1. Give some credit to Darryl Adralin, the linebacker and special teams coach. His special teams, in my opinion, took the heart out of this Calgary team.
Tracy Ham will line up and take a knee. 8 seconds left, 37-20. And that is your ball game. For the first time in the 106-year history of the Canadian Football League, an American team will claim the Grey Cup. Let's go downstairs where Lisa Bowles is in the middle of all the pandemonium.
Thanks very much, Gus. Mike Pringle. Mike, how satisfying is this, especially after last year?
Oh, I couldn't ask for anything better. A victory in the style that we did it. Our offense, our defense, special teams, everybody came to play. I love it. The Grey Cup is coming over on the other side of the border, but we're going to take real good care of it.
Thanks very much, Mike.
Thank you.
Mike Pringle, 139 yards rushing, and I guess he summed it up. The Grey Cup will be going south of the border and will reside in the city of Baltimore for at least 1 year. And there's a man, Don Matthews, the architect of this system.
Been a heck of a week for Mike Pringle. Most outstanding player in the league, wins the Grey Cup, and he's up for a contract negotiation this offseason, so good timing.
And the Cup is heading back to the States as this Baltimore team, for the 2nd straight year, advances to the Cup, and this year they win it. Let's go back downstairs to Lisa Bowles.
Okay, Carl Anthony, how satisfying is this, especially after all the team's been through?
Oh, no, we waited a year with the disappointing loss at BC. We came back. We knew we was playing against a great team. We knew the weather might have played a little factor, but we said if we can get on top of them and let Mike Pringle run the ball, we'll be successful.
Outstanding job shutting down Calgary's big, potent offense, and especially the receivers in the 2 slots.
Yeah, the thing we try to do is try to be physical with them, because during the year we seen that the team that played physical against them, they won. So we try to come out and play a little physical, try to get them out their rhythm, try to make Doug Spoonie run around a little bit, and then eventually he'll try to just do a little, just throw the ball away.
No question, unfinished business has been completed.
That's right, unfinished business, baby. CFL is the greatest, baby. Canadian Football League, baby. Number 1, baby. Number 1.
Thanks, Carl. Guys.
Thank you, Lisa. For Don Matthews, the 7th time he's won a Grey Cup. Won a Grey Cup as a head coach with BC, also with the Saskatchewan Roughriders right here in Regina, and now with the Baltimore Stallions. Let's go back down to Lisa.
Thanks very much, Gus. Alfred Payton, how satisfying is this?
Oh, it's real satisfying. I've been saying all week long, they can't block us up front. They cannot block us up front. We blow them off the ball, and it was the only candidate talking about Calgary, this Calgary. But Baltimore, we have the best team. And I want you to know, Baltimore, we're bringing it home, baby. We're bringing it home to you, baby. That's our cup. That's our cup.
The SWAC dog was all over Flutie. You talked about it all week. You did the job.
I felt that was really important to get the Flutie, and that's what we was able to do to get him all stride. and keep him out the pocket, keep him in the pocket, and keep him from getting on his rhythm. I felt it was really important to hit it, to keep hitting him, baby. And I'm glad we got to bring it on home now.
I know personally you're excited about a Grey Cup because you haven't seen one in a while.
Oh yeah, well I have lost 3, but this how sweet it is. It's so sweet. It's so. Now I'm going home. I'm going home now.
Thanks very much, Alfred. Now let's go to the presentation of the cup and the most outstanding player.
There it is, Lord Grey's Cup, which will be presented to the Baltimore Stallions in only their 2nd year of existence in the Canadian Football League. And it's a trophy that this team has worked their tails off for, led by that man.
I thought Peyton really made a good point. He said, I wanted to get Flutie off stride. You don't always have to get sacks. You just have to get enough pressure to force the quarterback to do some things with no timing. And that's what they were able to do today. Interesting call on the most outstanding player. Tracy Ham had a great game, but he certainly should give half of it to that tailback lining up behind him, Michael Pringle. Tracy Ham was 17 for 29, 227 yards. Also had a rushing touchdown. Michael Pringle broke the 100-yard barrier yet again. Kenny Watson did a great job in the secondary today on the slot backs.
There you take a look at Ham, who won a Grey Cup in Saskatchewan, but was a backup quarterback at that time. This is the first time he's won the cup as a starting quarterback. As they get ready to present the trophy to the Baltimore Stallions. That's Larry Smith. Presenting the trophy to the Baltimore Stallions. For the first time in the 106-year history of the Canadian Football League, the Grey Cup will be residing in the United States as the Baltimore Stallions go on to beat the Calgary Stampeders by a score of 37-20. They were 15-3 during the regular season, perfect in the playoffs, and they'll go home with the trophy.
We ought to thank everyone we've worked with all year. Steve Molshay in the truck, our producer, statistician, spotsman, everybody.
For Mike Mayock, I'm Gus Johnson saying so long from Regina.
Here. A pick. Brown knocked. Sanders. First down.
Boy, do our group of people get in the spirit of things.
We gave them a bad time at Halloween, but we figured, hey, it's a Christmas season. Look at those 4. Now, you can obviously tell who's with us. The beautiful Leslie Visser's with
Overlooked like that.
I know. I don't think his ears are that big.
First and 10 from the 34. Pete. Complete to Farr. Campbell in
piece of yellow.
First and 10, ball at the 45. Pete going for the home run. Incomplete. Second and 10 from the 45. To Sanders. First down. And more. In the third. Lions trailing by 7. First and 10 from the 34 of Green Bay. And complete to Arby Matthews for yet another first down. And Rodney.
And that's not Rodney Peete right.
12 remaining in the third. Pete dump off to Sanders. First down. And Sanders still on his feet.
Very
In goal from the 5. And
best in the NFL at scoring touchdowns inside the 20-yard line.
second and goal from the 4. Pete to Clark. Incomplete. Guarded by Lee.
Let's see if it looks like he had as good a chance as I thought he had of catching this ball. Right at the end. Right? Oh, yeah. Butler got his arms flailing around and might have distracted her, but it sure seemed like Robert.
And Pete.
Up for grabs. The Raiders, the Houston Oilers, the Buffalo Bills are on top of these things only in each other.
Yeah, that might happen in the Pete on the last play of the third. Dumping off to Sanders, who goes for the first down across midfield. 2nd and 7 from the intercepted. Packers. Leroy.
Rodney Peete here. Watch where this ball comes. Never a chance. Butler had perfect position the entire way. The ball ended up being thrown a little bit low. Maybe it's not an excuse, but the wind may have knocked that one.
Thompson as the Lions trail the Bay, making the most of his opportunity today. So just that quick, things turn around.
Point. He's not touched, he's not down yet, and the ball pops out as he rolls over. That was the key.
The 25-yard. Spielman. I gave you the scoring in the first quarter. In the third quarter, Darrell Thompson, a 76-yard kickoff return for the score for the Packers. That helped them to a 14-7 lead. Eddie Murray with a 22-yard field goal narrowed the gap to 14-10. Chris Jackie with a 25-yard field goal made it 17-10. And then Ray Crockett with a 22-yard fumble recovery back for the touchdown, and we're all even at we talked about and check that.
Davis and June Jones wanted a chance. 2.5 minutes left.
Left 16.
They can actually make the playoffs at 7-9, but they must win this game.
7-9 will do it with a whole lot of help from a lot of other teams. 2nd and 10. Complete for the first down to Robert Clark. The favorite receiver.
Today is because Detroit is an NFC opponent. Very important. They can actually make the playoffs at 7-9, but they must win this game.
7-9 will do it with a whole lot of help from a lot of other teams. Second and 10. Complete for the first down to Robert Clark. Make no mistake about it, Robert Clark is the favorite receiver for Rodney Peete. 9 of Pete's 18 career touchdowns have gone to Clark.
We're watching the running back running effectively with the ball, sometimes without the ball. But watch Rodney Peete gets to Clark. Watch him slip as he comes down and hits the ground. Look at that. No traction. That is whatever grass is left on top of this turf is just sort of for cosmetic reasons only. This field is solid. Clark, watch him slip as he comes down and hits the ground. Look at that. No traction. That is whatever grass is left on top of this turf is just is an NFC opponent. Very important. They can actually make the playoffs at 7-9, but they must win this game.
7-9 will do it with a whole lot of help from a lot of other teams. Second and 10. Complete for the first down to Robert Clark. Make no mistake about it, Robert Clark is the favorite receiver for Rodney Peete. 9 of Pete's 18 career touchdowns have gone to Clark.
We're watching the running back running effectively with the ball, sometimes without the ball. But watch Rodney Peete gets to Clark. Watch him slip as he comes down and hits the ground. Look at that. No traction. That is whatever grass is left on top of this turf is just sort of for cosmetic.
Second and 10. Ray Crockett on the coverage. To
bottom two are games they lost in overtime. They win those 4 games. You see Crockett took a bad spill and slide on that frozen mud over on the sideline. Jamison, now watch Crockett right here. That's frozen mud. That's nothing but frozen mud. But if you look out in the dictionary under forced pass, they might have a picture of this. Not a chance. Pita had to throw that with a howitzer to physically throw it through the body.
Blair Keel, statistically some awfully strong numbers. 20 of 36, 239 yards. Lynn and Steve Kleinfeld. Directed by Duke Struck, senior producer of CBS Sports, David Winter, and the executive producer is Ted Shaker. Thanks to Stats and Numbers, Gary Lynn and Steve Kleinfeld.
And you see Detroit celebrating on the sidelines, but there'll be nothing but sorrow in Green Bay because their playoff hopes are now dead. And Crockett to get it to his receiver. That ball had no business being in that area.
Intended receiver was Charles Wilson, and first interception of the afternoon for Blair Keel. Statistically some awfully strong numbers. 20 of 36, 239 yards.
And with no timeouts for the Green Bay Packers, you can stick a fork in the Packers. They're done. Detroit Lions can just fall on the ball and run it out from here.
Ball on the 4 of Detroit, but still 1:39 remaining. And Pete goes down in the win the game position. And Randy, you talked about those no timeouts coming back to haunt them, the Packers.
You just can't do that when you're playing against a team that's so evenly matched like Detroit and Green Bay. You can't waste little things like timeout. It's just like a championship game. You've got to assume it's going to go down to the last second.
Well, these two teams split last season and apparently will do so again this season.
And Rodney Peete will use his clock down to the very last second on the game clock, which is down to 4 seconds.
Directed by Duke Struck, senior producer of CBS Sports, David Winter, and the executive producer is Ted Shaker. Thanks to Stats and Numbers, Gary Lynn and Steve Kleinfeld. Executive producer is Ted Shaker. Thanks to Stats and Numbers, Gary Lynn and Steve Kleinfeld. Senior producer of CBS Sports, David Winter, and the executive producer is Ted Shaker. Thanks to Stats and Numbers, Gary Lynn and Steve Kleinfeld.
And you see Detroit celebrating on the sidelines, but there'll be nothing but sorrow in Green Bay.
Cold weather had a direct effect on the end of this game.
Woodenhopper, defensive coordinator for the Lions, normally would have played man coverage inside the 10-yard line, but fearing the crossing routes and scared that his men would slip by trailing the crossing routes, he was smart, dropped his men off into zone coverage, kept the crossing routes in front of him. Keel stared down the receiver. Lions got the interception and the victory. Good work.
Not the warmest day ever in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Now, what does this do to the wild card picture? Well, it kills the Green Bay Packers hopes because the Packers are now out of it. It is 6-9 for the Packers, 6-9 for the Detroit Lions. And what that means is that tomorrow, with a victory over the Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys can claim the third and final NFC wild card spot. And, of course, you'll see that game here on CBS. Now, coming up next here on CBS.
Price. Drive.
The end zone, and our line did a great job of blocking it. I was able to see the hole, and it was there.
What about, you guys aren't headed for the playoffs this year, but what did this win mean?
Well, it's a lot of incentive for us to